All right, what's up, everybody? Oh, I just noticed there's nothing on my little TV in the background. Maybe I'll put something on. Hold on one second. All right. Not gonna do that. Be right with you. Let me get some people over here from Instagram. Let me go live on Instagram. How do I do that? Live. Go live. Instagram should be a horizontal video platform, but I'm just gonna do live on both for a minute. That's how I'm gonna use my kids' abacus for my live. All right. There's 1, 2. That's not really working. All right. Instagram people. There's I'm going on YouTube and I'm going live, so you can jump over there in a minute, but this will play for a minute, so you get both. But I'll look at that camera, not really that camera. But yeah, give me one quick second. Let me throw something on the TV in the background so I can distract you. If you're only here to bootleg some TV, maybe I'll put on a football game. It's probably the one thing I shouldn't put on because it violates the terms of service. But at on a quick second, my beverage today is whatever was left of the I had iced tea in this Glenfiddich 21, which is now empty of iced tea, so I'll have to make more. Let's see, live TV. Oh, you know, I'll put on Miss Universe for you guys. There you go. Let me throw this. It's on that. And I'm going to be getting the Big Prev. I read that Big Perv. That Bentley's gone. The guy wasn't selling it. I just saw it there. Let me just lower the volume on. Actually, I could do that right here. Man, I'm all over the place. All right, cool. Now let me jump back into my live stream on YouTube and start answering a couple of questions. But happy, what is it? Happy Sunday. So little did you know, today is Rob Dom's birthday, and there's 4 days, 4 every year that Rob Dom and I get along. My birthday, his birthday, Christmas, and Valentine's Day. Just because I'm just kidding. But go drop him a note, wish him a happy birthday, and yeah. Can I straighten the crooked TV? I don't think the TV is crooked, honestly. I mean, maybe like a degree or two, but nothing worth fixing. Was it difficult when you started your first exotic car rental business? Not really, Steven, only because when we started the first car rental business, it wasn't really like to be a business. We just started it because it was like, yeah, whatever. We didn't really take it too seriously. It's when we realized we were pretty good at it that we decided to take it seriously. And maybe it was that lack of living off the business, or the lack of just like taking it too seriously, that we were able to grow it, and also lack of taking paychecks initially. Noah did, I didn't, but yeah, but we seem to have little trouble growing that company because we did it right. We were less concerned about money and more concerned about just giving a good experience and enjoying what we were doing. Am I in Florida? I was in Florida. I don't know. I was in Florida like a week ago. I was just in Vegas yesterday. I was in Vegas yesterday and I did this. Hold on. Got my certificates. Look at this. And I took them out of the frame, but there's a frame here, and then obviously this picture goes in there. I did the Richard Petty experience and the Mario Andretti experience. So I drove, whatever these pictures are, I drove open wheel in the, I don't know what it is. I hate to be like, yeah, it was in a Formula 1 car, because it's not a Formula 1 car. It's an Indy car of some sort, but it really, I've driven an Indy car in the past. And I drove a 2007 Lotus, which was a fun car, naturally aspirated. I drove it at Coda. I was doing, I forget what it was, 186, I think it was where it was limited to, gear limited to. but there was plenty of track. I could have gone a lot faster had they had the right gear set. But oh, what's up? Mostly Posty from Australia. Enjoy your content, even though it doesn't directly relate to us over here. Cheers, mate. Cheers to you. Do you realize that nobody listens to you until you start looking at the chat, right? Thank you, JF. I wonder if that's my JF. Is that my JF or is that a different JF? I don't know. How do I look at a profile? I can't see. Anyway, so I drove the Lotus down at Coda, and it could have gone faster, but it was also it was a paddle shift, so I was able to go through the gears. This car that we had one gear, the Indy car, and the NASCAR was a manual. It was a 4-speed manual, and NASCAR again, like that. That's why I just want to make sure I use my words right. It was a NASCAR type car. I don't want to be like it was NASCAR, and everyone's like, no, NASCAR's got 800, whatever. So I did drive the. I'll try not to kick the table so much. I did drive the NASCAR faster. They rev limit it, and so essentially all you do is you sort of get up to speed, and it was on an oval, so you get up to speed in top gear, and they step you up. They make sure you're comfortable doing it. I went for a ride and drive, so I went for a ride in the NASCAR and then a ride in the 2x2 or the 2-seater Indy car. And like, I get it. Like, I know what the tires essentially are capable of, and it's good to go out with them. But once I got out there, I just started hot lapping, and they do it by RPM. So like, your first lap, I want you to do 4,000 RPM. And in the Indy car, 4,000 RPM is like 120 miles an hour. So you're going around the oval at 120, staying on line, paying attention to where you're going. Then they go, okay, 4,200 RPM. All right, now 4,400. And they work your way up. I think the Indy car, I get up to 5,000 RPM. I don't know. They have a rev limiter, because I know what you're saying. It's like, yeah, just get at it. And you can't. They got like a rev limiter, so you'll hit the rev limiter, and that's no fun, because that'll slow you down once you bump a rev limiter. So it's all about like throttle control and staging your way up. And the NASCAR, I think I was hot lapping at 155 miles an hour, which was 5,400 RPM. Boom. And then the Indy car, I was only like I did like 3 sessions in the NASCAR, and initially they limit you to 5,000 RPM, and then the first lap I go out on the 3rd session, they're like, all right, we've just changed. They probably just flip a switch to change the tune. They're like, all right, we've changed your rev limiter. Now you can do up to 5,400 RPM. So let's get out there. I get onto the track. He's like, all right, let's bring it up to 5,400. So I was like, all right, cool. And I bring it like all the way up to 5,400. And like they're in the tower. They're obviously not in the car, because there's 2-seaters. They're both 1-seater cars. And he's like, oh, I'm at 4,400 RPM. And so then I step my way up. And then when you're at your max RPM, you're out there for 3 or 4 laps. So I was doing 4 laps around Las Vegas Motor Speedway, around the oval at 155 miles an hour. So that's fun. So it's a cool experience. I am not looking at the chat on the Instagram, guys. So if you want to actually have me answer your question, jump over to the YouTube, and I will, obviously, I'll try to get to the questions on the YouTube, but I try to keep up with everything. Happy holidays. Happy Jewish, happy Hanukkah to the guys that had Hanukkah earlier this month. Don't be distracted. I see that the right there. You're welcome, everybody. Bikini competition. But what am I watching? That's the Miss Universe contest or something on whatever it is. Yeah. So I'll try to get to some of the questions. What am I watching in the background? Why didn't I go to LZ's open house? LZ didn't call me for his open house, but I was in Vegas yesterday. My kid was also sick. That sucked. She had like a croup, and for a 2-year-old to have like a whooping cough, that sucks. Like multiple trips to the doctor, just very, very heartbreaking. It's the most happiest day of your life, Rob. Thank you. Oh my God. I don't know. I don't really have the happiest day. I've got a lot of happy days. That's why I do what I do. Still running. When is my next half marathon? I haven't ran in years, unfortunately. I thought I saw porn on your TV. Not porn. Anything with Steve Harvey narrating is not porn, I promise you. So let's see what we got. We've got Merry Christmas. Yep. Drink of choice tonight is poured from a Glenfiddich 21, which is now empty, but it is iced tea. D-Rock, when am I stepping up my merch game? That's part of what I'm doing in 2019. I've got a lot going on. If you guys, what age did I get married? I was 29. You guys, if you're on my Facebook, I've got a couple of job opportunities as part of my 2019 plan. And when I say, like, there's a lot of opportunity. But, and people, like, they paid more attention to the fact that I didn't ask for like certain qualifications, like because I don't care about college. I don't give a shit if you go to college. I don't give a shit if you graduated college. I want capable people, and capable people make. I don't care if what your GPA was. I don't care anything about prior work experience. I just care about what you're able to do and what sort of effort level you're going to put in. That's all I care about. And there's guys that have been in business for 20 years and they suck at it. So why, if this guy's been in business for 20 years, I mean, they're like, sorry, I got to give that guy the job. He's been sucking at this for 20 years. No, I want somebody that's fresh, that's creative, that's talented, and that doesn't have a qualifier of certain schooling or anything of that nature. So check out my Facebook if you're interested, and ideally local to like Englewood, New Jersey, because in a couple of months, that's where the office will be. Oh, speaking of offices, the old Gotham warehouse, the one that I am no longer in, is now completely empty. So if you're looking to rent a warehouse, that one is available, or will be available shortly. But that is like a ghost town. It is empty as empty can be. Please inform us how one would become a lover boy. A lover boy in what regard, Don Abraham? Please inform us. I'd have to Google lover boy. I mean, I get the sort of the feel for the question, but I think you just sort of wasted $2 right there. Sorry, pal. But thank you. Wondering how the Evo build is coming along. Stay safe and happy holidays. The Evo build is about to kick up. I've been waiting on my truck to get done, and I think I'm gonna have to swap the heads on my truck, unfortunately, the ugly truckling, because that's the one with the winch. It's what I need to get the Evo up to Tommy. Here's the plan with the Evo. Bring it up to Tommy, take all the parts out of it, see what's usable, see what's not usable, what has to be rebuilt, what has to be sent out, put together a list of parts, order the parts, figure it takes 10 days to get all the parts, then take a week and literally just sit there for a week and go up to Connecticut every day, and we just jam everything in that Evo, fire it up, and get that thing working. The Evo is only missing time and money. That's always obviously the pitfall of any build, but I've got the desire to finish it, and I've got the essentially the credit card to do it, and I'd like to get that chapter closed so I can move on to my Donk and some other stuff. If you haven't seen my Donk video, oh, another thing I learned, it's not a Donk, apparently. The Donk people say it's not a Donk. So the subculture of Donk people says that it's got to be a 71 to 75 Caprice or Impala in order to be a Donk, and it doesn't have to be lifted. It just has to have a big wheel. I don't know. It's sort of nonsense. Everybody, common lingo refers to anything with really, really big wheels as a Donk. Just the way it is. So I address my car as a Donk. I will continue to address my car as a Donk. I don't want to come up with all this, well, that's a Donk, this is a dip, this is... Because like even when you look up Donk, there's no real reason, like, oh, the 71 Impala sort of looks like a donkey from the back. Like, no, it's because this looks like There's nobody who's got consensus as to why any of them are called a donk. But most people call anything with big wheels a donk, so I am going to call anything with big wheels a donk, including my Crown Vic, which, by the way, is running now after $800. But there's more to that. There was oil on one of the spark plugs, so I'm going to ruin my own videos here and tell you there was oil on one of the spark plugs. I'm going to go drive it, and if it turns out when we pull a spark plug again, there's oil on it again. Not many ways oil gets into a cylinder. Through the rings, through the piston, not really through the head gasket generally. So it's either through the rings or the piston, or that's pretty much it. But if that's the case, my engine's on the way out. I don't know how long it's going to last. And I'm going to do what any rational person would do, which is strap a couple of bottles of nitrous to it and blow it up. Then put a new motor in it. So that's on my list. Rob, how do you get so much money? Why, like, there's a video. Like, everything that you have that you think is like, oh, let me type this. That's a pretty stupid question. There's probably a video to address that already. Go type in, I think it's like what I do for a living, or like Rob Ferretti, what I do for a living. There's your video. It'll tell you what I do for a living. But also remember, I'm much older than a lot of you. I am 38. So I've been doing it for a while. And that's working and saving for, not really saving, but like working and generating more money than you spend for many years is the way to accumulate wealth. So when you're young, if you're 15, 16, 17, and you look at a 30-year-old, you're like, wow, that guy's got a lot of money. He doesn't really have a lot of money. That's why, like, some people like, the teens are the best years of my life. Oh, the 20s are the best years. I think the 30s are the best years of your life, because you're still young. You still want to have fun, but now you're actually making money to support that fun. So 30s, cheers to all of you guys. Let's see. Oh, you watch the Mr. 3742 watching me on both Instagram and whatever this is. I should go Facebook Live too. Jesus Christ, I'll just go do the trifecta. All right, I like that glass, by the way. My dirty 30 is March 14th. Enjoy it, brother. 37, I look like I'm 50. First I said I'm 38, and if I look 50, motherfucker, I don't know what to tell you. Porsche, Ferrari, which do you enjoy driving more? The Porsche is more fun to drive, but they're both different. They're all different. How much money to start a business? So it's funny, I was thinking about this. It does take money to start a business, but I've never taken any business loans to start a business. I've always self-funded, which means I have to save up money to then fund the business. With my video business, it started by I was caddying and carrying golf bags and then filming outside of that. And that enabled me to start the business, buy the inventory, sell the DVDs, buy the space at the auto show, sling DVDs, build a website, host a website. So the fact that I was doing that allowed me to work over at Gotham because I had something paying my bills. Noah took an investment of $300,000 for Gotham, but that was primarily to like buy our first car and cover overhead and do all that stuff for the first year or two, do some advertising, and so we could take a paycheck, honestly. Adventure Drive self-funded. Shivam and I put in about $150,000 in the first year. We lost $150,000 in the first year. It was $130,000 in the first year. That sucked. But we were both busy doing other stuff, so that was a side product of us being busy and not paying attention to that. Also leading into us hiring, at least me, arranging a network or a team of people to assist in 2019, because I want to grow both Adventure Drives, Gotham Dream Cars, and the YouTube side of things. I'm going to start doing more events, just tons of fun shit on the agenda. And I'm looking, and I can't even fathom doing it by myself. A lot of the stuff I've had written down forever. I've just never gotten around to it. But I will spearhead it. I'll have an office to work out of for the team. It may be part-time for 10 people. It may be full-time for 3 people. I don't know yet. We'll see what it looks like, and we'll see who the right people are. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So 2019 is going to be interesting. I don't know what's happening, but there's going to be a lot happening, and it's going to be enjoyable for you guys. Do I see Turo into eating into my rental business at all? No, I don't. What do you think of exotic car hacks? I don't know. Is that a YouTube channel? I don't know it. Did you see Street Speed made a video on his analytics? Will that piss YouTube off? I don't know what pisses YouTube off. That's between Street Speed and YouTube. How do you visually filter all the bonehead comments? Good stuff. Keep it coming. I don't actually like the comments. They just sort of chug by. The Instagram comments, I apologize. I'm not really paying attention to those. But the YouTube comments, the only ones that I really grab are the YouTube comments that people throw money up on. But otherwise, I just sort of glance over every once in a while, and if something is in sort of the top third is where I'm like glancing and reading, and then I just read whatever I'm reading out loud. So there's no awkward silence. Like JR Garage is going to jail. I don't know about JR Garage going to jail. I don't know where that came from. I don't know the rationale behind it, but I read it for you. Do you ever stop lusting for other women once you're married? Or is the urge still there? What, like, how do you, what am I, a sex therapist? I don't know. I do cars. F-136 swap into the Donk. I would swap something else into the Donk if it was an easy swap. But the Donk is just, I don't know. I was just going to put a blower on it when I put the motor in. Like a Crown Vic motor is pretty moddable. Let's see. What is my title at Gotham Dream Cars? I'm technically Chief Operating Officer, but now I'm just owner. LS swapped to Donk. Yeah, bitch. I got a spare 2JZ, but I don't think I'm going to 2JZ that rat trap. Although the car is pretty clean. I'm just not a fan of those modifications. I think adding a lot of horsepower to that would just make it significantly more dangerous than it probably is. And I'm sort of interested in driving it, so we'll see what happens. What's the ETA to move into the new house? Carl, did you just see my video? I just did a house update like 2 days ago. And there is a long process ahead of me, but I figure it's going to be about a year before I can get this thing done and then build and move into it. Don, calling me out. Show us your Christmas tree. I don't have it yet, Don. I've been traveling. I'll probably, and this is going to be my first time getting a real Christmas tree. So I'm sort of, and since I'm 30 some odd years, but I will get a Christmas tree probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, and then take it from there. Let's see here. We got some money coming in here. Well, let me just make sure I answer these. Louis Velasquez, sell me the Miata, please. Miata's gone, Louis. I'm sorry. Chevelle Garage, how do you value a business to purchase? That's an excellent question. And it's a hell of a lot more than $2. But since you asked it and I've got time, I'm happy to answer it for you. So to value a business, you can either value it on like a straight purchase or an earnout. And valuing a business all depends on what is actually there. Now, as a buyer of a business, if I was going to buy your business, because I've had people offer me businesses, it comes down to what you're actually selling. Now, if you're saying like, I'm going to sell you my McDonald's, whatever, let's pick a non-franchise. I have a hot dog stand. I'm going to sell you my hot dog stand. Regardless of who is there, if I can hire anyone for $12 an hour, they stand at the hot dog stand all day, they go on shifts, and it generates $400,000 in hot dog sales a year, of which $220,000 is profit. That's easy. Now, I would take a business like that and say, like, all right, if you do $220,000 in net profit, I'll give you $500,000, $600,000 for probably start at $650,000 and work my way down to $500,000 to try to buy it. That's 2.5 years profit for the guy, which for him, he built a business, doesn't have to do anything. He's got 3, 4, 5 years of at least flatline income and flatline net margins of $200,000 a year. It's worth 3x that. If it's something that's more variable and subjective, that's like when you get into this, like, well, yeah, we do $2 million in revenue every year, but we're losing $100,000. Well, the business isn't really worth very much unless you have some sort of like technology or something that has a value to somebody. So even though I can shut down the company or I can see something in the company that I can revamp, that's the type of business I'd probably buy and do an earnout on. Be like, look, I'll take over the operations of the business. I'll try to clean it up, make it more valuable, and then I'll pay you based off of certain milestones going forward for 3 or 4 or 5 years. A lot of people just try to say like, or like businesses that don't have a value that people think have a value is like, Joe's a chef at a restaurant, at Joe's restaurant. And everyone's like, oh, cool, Joe's restaurant. I want to, and by the way, Instagram people, jump over to YouTube because that's where I am. But if Joe has a restaurant and Joe is the reason people go into that restaurant, Joe's like, all right, cool, I do $1 million a year in revenue and I make whatever, $300,000 a year in profit. I want to sell the restaurant. Well, who's going to be the new Joe? Well, no, I'm going to leave. I don't care. It's up to you. That business isn't really worth anything because that business, the reason people come in, like the soup Nazi, people go in because of that guy. So if you want to try to value your business and there's no like predictability to it, the margins are up and down, it's a lot more difficult to sell and you have to sell it on an earnout. The only way to really sell a business or value a business for sale is if you have predictable, auditable financial statements. If you have a review, like first thing we did when we went to sell Gotham was we had an accounting firm review our financial statements. So when you get reviewed or audited is even better, but reviewed is like the basic level. If you get reviewed financial statements, you have a financial institution or a accounting firm look at your books, go through every line item and make sure that everything is accurate. So they're stamping your book saying, boom, these are reviewed financials. And now you can look as an investor, as a purchaser, as a seller, and say, these are reviewed financials. Like this, you don't have to take my word for it anymore. I'm not telling you I'm doing $1 million in business. These are reviewed financials. I've got 3 years of reviewed financials, and that makes it much easier to sell a business. So if you're interested in selling or defining what your value actually is, because you may do like, oh yeah, I work through the business and I make the business makes $200,000 a year. Oh yeah, what do you pay yourself? Well, I keep the $200,000 a year. So okay, well, I buy your business. You're not keeping $200,000 a year or whatever. Like I'm gonna have to pay somebody to do your job. That's gonna cost me $125,000 a year. Now your business is only making $75,000 a year in net margins. So like all of this gets factored in, the hidden cost of stuff. Well, yeah, we work out of my house. You'll have to get an office. All of this stuff has to go into valuing a business. So I hope I gave you your $2 worth there. But thank you for this support. Let's see. If you want more questions than that, just shoot me an email. I'll try to help you out. Tell TJ all saying beef is good, just like music. Okay. Glad I caught you finally. All the content. By the way, the NSX is still my dream car. Where would you recommend to purchase one? I don't know. They're available out there. They're not hard. Dude, Syed in your capital letters. Don't. If you guys post a comment in all capital letters, I'm probably not going to read it. But no, I don't really go to Rhode Island very often. Please stop posting that comment. Is car rental worth it? What does that mean? What do you think? The house update, I told you I just did a house update video a day or two ago. What do you think of Los Angeles? I don't know. There's some stuff in Los Angeles I like. I like the coast, the Malibu, the like Venice Beach, stuff along those lines. But I'm not really a big fan of the people in Los Angeles, if that makes sense. Like everybody seems to be trying to be very important. That's just the way to get by in Los Angeles is just act like you're somebody, and even if you're not. And I'm not really into that. What happened to the GT3 that I ordered? I did not. That order, the dealer wanted me to give him money over sticker. I sort of told him to shove it. Are we still doing adventure drives? Yes, we are. Our next adventure drives trip is, just go to adventuredrives.com. We have 3 trips coming up. One is to Iceland to see the Northern Lights. That's going to be in February 27th through March 3rd. Then I've got the one to Europe. That's going to be July 13th to the 20th. And then in November, we're going down and we're doing Charleston down to Miami. So that's going to be a good time. Which hypercar? I can't afford a hypercar. It's funny. Like, I was just talking to somebody, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, why would anyone ever buy a hypercar when you just go buy a Gallardo in twin turbo? Why would you buy a Gallardo when you could just buy a Corvette in turbo? Like, there is always this battle as to like whether something is worth it, and until you have the money to make that decision, you can't really make that call. It's otherwise, that's why you get that Miata crowd being like, anything more than a Miata in this world. You can make a Miata as fast as a whatever, name it. But I'll tell you what, I was one of those guys when I bought my Corvette back in the day. I'm like, I could not ever see wasting the money on a Ferrari. It makes no sense. And then when I had the money to buy a Ferrari, I didn't go out and buy another Corvette and modify it. I went out and bought a Ferrari. And that's because you're now in a position to make the decision versus just saying, like, I'm not in a position to make a decision. So, like, I can't tell you what hypercar I would buy. But if I did have the money, my money would probably go into Koenigsegg. Did I change my live schedule? No, I just felt like doing it today. I was traveling yesterday. I was on an airplane. Same time yesterday, I was on an airplane on my way back from Vegas. And then Friday, I could have done it in Vegas Friday, but I was 3 hours off because I was in Vegas. But then I would have just been sitting in my hotel room. I don't know how good that internet is. In terms of your rental fleet, which vehicle has resulted in the best return on investment to date? I think the 458 is probably the best one thus far. Rob, did Adam... that doesn't take into account depreciation, though. Rob, did LZ's M3 ever lap the Nurburgring? No, he got stuck in customs. And then we said we can leave the car there and send it down to the Nurburgring the next day when he got the paperwork sorted out, but he decided to ship it back. Let's see. Is it good to buy a beater car? I like beater cars because, like, I'm not a guy who needs to pull up in a Ferrari to feel special. So I rather pull up in a ship box for $1,000 because I know at the end of the day, I can just sort of drive that thing to the ground. The only things I need in the car is sort of like heated seats, heated steering wheel, and like air conditioning in the summer. Outside of that, like point A to point B cars, don't give a rat's ass what I drive. Favorite clothing brand? Probably Banana Republic because it looks nice. That's what this is. Looks nice and it's good quality and it's always on sale. So you can get the stuff for like the shirt I probably paid $20 for. Let's see. Jimbo is still over at the other house. I own a dealership not far from you in Jersey. What do you think of the best way to gain customers' business and keep sales strong? And what do you think of used dealerships? I don't trust many used dealerships at all, Gabriel. But that's because used dealerships are usually scrounging around and they're buying cars and trying to like spruce them up and getting them out the door. And somebody usually, I don't know, so it just usually never really works out. Did Tommy's friend, Rudnick allegedly Rudnick got jumped. I don't have a reason to believe that he was making that up. But he was also probably pissed drunk. He was pissed drunk most of the trip, so who knows? I don't know why he was in that situation. How's the new shop going? We should start construction on that first week of January. Favorite phone brand? I don't really have one. I don't care about phones, but I've got a Samsung. Hi, Instagram people. I'm live on YouTube, guys, so jump over to YouTube. That's why I'm looking here, not here. I just did this to, Am I sponsored by Michelin or just work with them sometimes? I work with them sometimes. They were a sponsor for the Project Car Challenge. They hooked up all the PS4S tires for everybody, and I'm not fucking around. Those tires are good tires. So if you want performance tires for the street and with tread, those are the way to go. I think next challenge, the next challenge is going to be on the cup tires, though. So we'll switch over to the R compounds, and we'll see what we can really bang out of them. What are your thoughts on the LB7? I don't know. I've got the LLY, so I don't know about the LB7s, but you're probably fine. Any diesel Chevy or anything with the Allison trans will do you right. Fishing with Jacob. Can I rent a car from you? If you're over 21 and you would like to rent a car, you can. My thoughts on Royalty Exotics. Royalty Exotics, I think, is the guy with the Veyron. And it does no security deposits, super cheap rentals down in Vegas. I know Royalty Exotics in Vegas. I just forget which like budget rental car company they are. I think there's more to that story. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't pass the sniff test to me. I know the business, and the more miles you put on, the more maintenance you have. I know what peak utilization can be. I just don't see them solving a problem that everyone else, or solving a utilization thing and coming up with a business model that works. Because you put 150,000 miles on any car, it's worthless. So I'm not confident that they're driving around in Bugattis and spending $30,000 in a set of tires and not caring. That doesn't add up. That's more of a so there's money coming from somewhere else. Let's just put it that way. Have I had any fun with the tractor lately? And I've been traveling, so the tractor's been sitting. But I just put my I can't use my phone to show you, but I put my Instagram people. I'm on YouTube, so jump over to YouTube, and that's where I am. I put my Ferrari and NSX over in the garage at the house. So, but I cleaned the garage, so that's nice. Project Lone Wolf, thank you for the 2 bone skis. How do I track down my old truck, like buy it back? I don't know. I like the one thing I've learned with that is I don't know why people want to buy their old cars back unless it's like something super sentimental. Usually just let it go and get another one. But if you want to track it down, you can track it down by VIN number. Try VinWiki, do a general call. If it's special enough, it may pop up on a VIN search on Google. But otherwise, like I don't just let it be. It may even be dead, the car. How do you insure the fleet with a commercial insurance policy? Why is it hard for a guy under 25 to rent? That's just because a lot of people under 25 are irresponsible shitheads and damage cars. Because like, I could buy insurance for $12, yay! And then they like drive through a car wash with the windows open and the top down, or just legitimately beat the balls off a car. So exotic car, or not even exotic car rental companies, regular car rental companies set the age limit at 25, and that apparently helped mitigate that. Let me just, sorry, Instagram people, let me do this. Let's see if that works. Let me stick you up here. Hello. Hey. There's not a lot of people on Instagram anymore. Hopefully, if you're on Instagram, jump over to the Facebook feed. Not Facebook, I'm sorry, YouTube feed. Let's see here. We got a super chat. 5 bone skis from Boston camera guy. You and Tommy need to buy the Osmo Pocket for vlogging. Yeah, I saw the Osmo Pocket thing. I'm like, Jimbo always yells at me because I always want to buy stuff. And Jim's like, yo, don't buy that. I've already got an Osmo with the thing. The audio sort of sucks on it, but I always run separate audio now anyway. So maybe, I don't know. I looked at it. I saw the little built-in camera. I may jump on that. Mercedes-Benz's Frenchie GT Speed was fixed for a month for 0. Complaint to the corporate work. Good. If it needs to be repaired for a 5th time, they will send somebody to the UK from the UK to inspect it. That's good news. I know you had those trunk issues for a long time, and I'm glad that got sorted out. It just sucks. The downtime sucks. It sucks to own a car and not be able to use it. Let me just make sure I'm not. I bought a 64.5 Mustang. Okay. Love the apple juice. Absolutely. Cheers to you. That's actually iced tea. Remember, not apple juice. And I've got a nice bottle. My favorite bottle is Glenfiddich 15, sitting up there waiting. This bottle was the 21 with the rum cask. I wasn't really a big fan of that, to be honest with you. A little bit of ice, a little bit of water helps open it up. but I don't know. I'm a 15 guy straight away. Turned 26 this year. Finally able to rent a car. I almost wanted to go on vacation just so I could rent a sick car. Dude, renting cars is fun, man. Like, I get it. Like, when I've traveled to Europe, I rent nice cars. It's fun to do. Karin says, did I go to college? I did. I went to Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania for a year and a half. I went on a extracurricular activity scholarship, which means it was Division III school, so they could give sports scholarships, but they sent me there to play golf. I was on the floor of everybody else who happened to be there on an extracurricular activity scholarship that played various sports, lacrosse, football, you name it. I tried to get cute and quit the golf team because I didn't like it. I didn't like the coach. I didn't like the 9-hole course we were playing. Tried to quit the golf team, but sign up for a bunch of extracurricular activities in advance. Like, oh, I'm like championing homelessness awareness week and all that stuff. And sure enough, like after I quit the golf team the next semester, they're like, we're cutting your scholarship in half. And I'm like, no, see you later. And I'm like, having a full ride is much different than having a half ride. So although it would have still only cost me $16,000 a year to go, I went back and then I went to Ramapo College in New Jersey for a couple of years part-time. And then I was like probably a semester and a half away from graduating. I was like, all right, cool. I got everything I need. And I'm out. College, I felt was more for like wanting to work for somebody. And I never really wanted to work for somebody. I was like, start a business or do whatever. And I don't see a college degree as being required there, especially like Ramapo College or Joe Blow. If I was going to Harvard, I'd follow through. MIT, Princeton, Yale. But if it's not a school that everyone in the world has heard of, the degree is going to mean nothing. Going to Vegas in a few months. Any suggestions on places to rent? Yeah, you can do Diplomat car rentals. Those are the guys that hooked us up. Justin over there, he hooked me up for the white Ferrari on adventure drives. And it was a good car. It had some miles on it, but it was a good, clean, well-maintained car. Buying a new car soon. Your opinion? Go get it. Excuse me. We're going to see Ed Bolian from VinWiki at the event. Which event? Would you consider buying land and building a racetrack for your events and your friends? Yeah, great. That's you lend me $25 million. I'll happily go do that. Garage update. The garage, we're waiting on the approval from the town on the plans. They had a couple of revisions. Once the plans get approved, then we can build. But we need the permission to do the build out first. Does the winter season affect Gotham Dream Cars in terms of how many people rent? Yeah, of course. It's seasonal in a lot of places. Let's see, the New York, New Jersey market gets a little bit slower, whereas the Florida market gets a little hotter. Did you meet Richard Rawlings on my bull run days? Yeah, I did meet Richard Rawlings several times. Hi, I don't know what you want me to tell him. But Richard and I are always back and forth. Like, I'm in Dallas. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? You want to get a drink? He's like, yeah, I'm tired. And then anytime he's in New York, he's like, yo, you want to get a drink? And he always like messages me at like 11 at night. I'm like, dude, I'm home. I'm in bed. I'm old. But I haven't connected with him in a hot minute. But we still bullshit every once in a while. Do I have a girlfriend? No, I have a wife and 2 wonderful kids. What is their bitch about the plans that I proposed? So the issue I had with the plans that I initially proposed, I think was the tunnel underground was a point of contention. Not that they had a problem with it, but that it was different was what sort of caught them off guard. And the fact that the garage could hold 12 cars, why it should matter, especially the only stuff you should be concerned of is the stuff above ground. The fact that the tunnel connected the house to the garage made the structure, the principal structure, now bigger by the size of the garage and the size of the tunnel because it was connected. If it was separated by like an inch, then that would be an accessory structure, and a principal structure, it is what it is. I didn't want to get it was a little bit of a headache there. My family just finished a custom building an 8,000 square foot home in Paramus. That's twice as big as what I'm putting up. I'm going to put up a 4,000 square foot house, which is more than, like, I'm not into the big houses. I don't need the extra rooms that I don't use or anything like that. So the 4,000 square foot house is plenty. It's 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, maybe 3. Where am I going with this? Let's see. When's the Evo getting started? I mentioned that a little earlier. It's crazy. It's your property. Yeah, I get it. Like, you don't see the big deal about it being my property, but the world doesn't work like that. You can't just, especially in this area, because imagine, like, say I wanted to go put a bounce house as my house. I'm going to devalue everyone else's property around me. So that's not right. You can't do that. That's why planning boards and zoning boards exist. If you were buying 450 acres up in Montana, you could put your bouncy house in the middle of your property and nobody can see it. Nobody cares. You just have a dirt road leading up your property. That's very different than trying to build somewhere where you can affect other people's property values, or like affect the aesthetic of the town. And you want to put, like, I just want to put a big pink house here. Well, nobody wants a pink house up here. Yeah, I get the whole, like, they break your balls and I don't know if you're not in the club. It's not supposed to work like that, but it does. The fact that if you are, and the board was working with me a lot. Like, I did all the modification. Let's do this, and I changed everything. And even on my final submission, after they turned on me, when I had somebody that was a dissenter who was, like, playing my YouTube videos, and, like, his website says, like, the rules of the road don't apply, and like trying to make it like I was going to set cars on fire in my front yard, which, again, it doesn't really have any bearing on my application because I'm proposing a property. But instead of acting as a planning board, it acted more as a condo board, and we're like, I don't know if we like this guy. It's different. Let's just nope. And they voted across the board. So even though I made all the changes, I added trees where they wanted trees. I added the type of trees they wanted. I reduced the size of the garage from 12 cars all the way down to 3 cars. And I figured we're just going to walk in, and I've met all of their demands, and I'll come back down the road, and I'll look to build an addition under the garage for my tractor or for my other cars at some later time. They ultimately voted it down anyway, so I had to redesign and resubmit anyway. It's interesting. Best advice for a small-time YouTuber for growth. There's no magic to it, dude. Consistency, creativity, and engage with your audience. YouTube, the growth curve is not generally like this. It's usually just like, and it takes a long time. But just don't try to clickbait. Don't try to fool people. Don't just make videos for views. Make stuff that's creative, that resonates with you, and just keep putting it out there. And people are either going to like it or they're not. If they don't like it, maybe you don't belong on YouTube. If they like it, then you'll build yourself an audience. Eric W. Smith, I said that to myself. Let's see. So I'm going to be giving away the M Roadster. That's going to be coming up. Gallardo in the $70,000 range. That's at the bottom of the range. I'd probably stay away from those cars. Build a jet car, compete with Cletus? Nope. No, thank you. I like to live. Noah Johnson. Rob, I know you can't state CPM, but in what realm is it in? Real estate at 25, tech at 17? Email me, Noah, or just shoot me a message on Instagram or something like that. I don't get the question or what context. Which take on the Chevy Volt being discontinued? I'm going to do a video on that, actually, because they're cutting it. And my lease is coming due, so I got to figure out what to do with it. Brandon Nieder, donating amount takes... Yeah, so Brandon just threw $10 and said, donating the amount it takes to buy a local planning board member. I assure you, it doesn't really work like that. Not around here. Everybody seems to think like, yeah, just take somebody out to dinner or something. It's not like that. If you're in the town, you've been in the town, you want to go and be like, and you're on the planning board, maybe you can breeze through. But there's even a member of the planning board that's trying to put a barn up on his like 8 or 10 acres where he already has a horse farm, and they're giving him a hard time. The fact that he had to then go and challenge it in a court system. So, I mean, you never know. Like, there is no magic to, like, if you're on the planning board, if you know somebody on the planning board, it just doesn't work like that. So you just try to adhere to the rules the best you can. My brain is just like, all right, this is what everybody else has already been approved for, so I'll just go into that zone and I should be okay. And we'll go back at it. I got my meeting in January now. Just trying to make it work so I can build a house, because it's costing me a lot of money not to live there. Yeah, thank you, D-Rock. Any job inquiries, just shoot me an email, rob@superspeeders.com. And try to be local. I've got a bunch of people that were all over the country being like, I'll just do it remotely. I think the creativity works best when we're all in the same office. You should do more rallies like you used to. I love those videos, like the Cannonball or the 2904. I don't like Cannonball. I'm not an endurance guy. I don't like doing it. It's not fun. And the whole point of the rallies that you liked is us getting pulled over. The point of a Cannonball is to not get pulled over. And they're pretty boring. It's like, oh, there's a cop. We're going to sneak right past him. All right. The Cannonball videos never really take off the way you'd think they would. You should go live with the Instagram followers so you can meet some sort of followers and run traffic to your feed. I am live on Instagram. Hey, Instagram people, I'm on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, I can answer your questions. Otherwise, I'm just looking this way, and you're like, why is this guy not looking at me? YouTube people. Let's see what we got. So more best cop moments. I've got best cop moments. There's I just put up best cop moments up a couple of minutes, whatever. Did that chick win? No, he's just still going. I'm in probably one of the worst towns as far, like, notoriously hard for the planning board approvals and everything like that. It's just, I don't get why it should be that complicated. The fact that I have to hire planners and everything. Hey, I've got a house. I'm building another house. All right, well, you didn't have a planner. Why do I need a planner? I'm not turning a house into a condo complex. I'm turning a house into a house. One driveway, a couple of people. So, largest business failure. And what did I learn from it? Probably when we shut down our trucking company in 2008. We started a trucking company, and we bought a screwdrive trailer to try to be not cheap, but like economical with the purchase of our trailer. Bought a nice Peterbilt 387, and it ended up biting us in the ass because the screwdrive trailer was not reliable for the enclosed carrier. The open carrier was fine, but we seemed to have a lot of employee damage on stuff, so we're writing out that. And then all the profit that we were taking in was offset by the fact that we had profit that we're taking in was offset by the fact that we had to go through central dispatch because we didn't have a retail arm. So we were doing all these brokered loads, and we weren't getting paid by the broker. So like how a broker works through central dispatch, and I'm amazed that they haven't fixed this. The guy will book a load and post it. He'll collect $1,000, tell you he'll give you $700. You deliver the car. He keeps all 1,000, doesn't pay you $1. And there's nothing you can do. You just be like, hey, send me a bill, send me a bill. And I think at the end of the first year, I had to write off what our profit would have been, which was like 60 or 70,000 bucks, and that sucks. So I'm sort of glad I was out of that business. The only way I'd get back into transport, obviously, other than what I do to move our own cars, is to get back into transport full time is if I can secure payment and guarantee payments. Why buy a house in the area where such strict rules? Sorry if it's been asked. It's a nice town. So there's two towns that I was looking at for a house. A town called Alpine. You may have heard of Alpine, New Jersey. And then the town next to it is called Rockley, New Jersey. But Rockley is a much smaller town. Alpine is much freer and like, oh, you want to build a castle? Build a castle. I don't care. Rockley is a little bit more low-key, charming, historical-ish, but both very upscale, very nice towns, and they both have very low taxes. So the taxes on, you go one town over, you can have $1 million house and be paying $38,000, $40,000 in taxes. The $1 million house in Rockley, you'll be paying $7,000 in taxes. So that's huge. That's like $3,000 a month that you're saving every month for your entire ownership period. Sergium is asking me, thank you for the 10 bones. Where can we buy Super Speeders shirts? If you go in my, there's either Teespring or you go into my YouTube videos. Just below there's a banner. If you have ad blocker, you may not see it, but there's a banner right there with shirt options. But if you stand by, we're going to be coming out with a bunch more shirts in 2019. That I'm hiring somebody for is to just do all the merchandising for 2019, so we can start banging stuff out and add some more revenue streams here and spend some more money doing fun stuff. Not watching the Eagles-Rams game. Nope, I'm sort of watching a commercial for Miss Universe right now. Noah Johnson emailed, thank you. I'll take a look at that. Let's see. How do you start and get the idea for your business? Which business, Ben? I'll just I'll kick it back and we'll do this. The started carrying golf bags, working at golf courses because it made good money and it was mostly cash for the most part. And it was seasonal and it was exercise. I liked walking. That turned into like I had a lot of free time, got into cars, started making car videos. The car videos were not really time intensive. That turned into a business. That's how I got into that. Gotham also involved cars. I had time, so I jumped into that as well. But Noah started the Gotham. I jumped in like floor one within a couple of weeks, but on his third or fourth rental. Then the Adventure Drives is when we were in the process of doing a transaction to move out of the daily rental game. Adventure Drives was my next thing because it was like I like doing road trips, I like doing logistics, and I did some pretty neat stuff. And after I did my Europe trip filming Super Speeder 7, everyone was like, dude, you're like super good at planning trips. And I was like, you know what, let me see if I could turn this into a business. And that's the inspiration, so to speak, to start the travel company. And the travel company is a buttload of fun. It's probably my favorite business because it's just like living the dream. It's like doing these, what is it? It's like doing a retirement trip multiple times a year. So the one trip that you talk about, like when I get old, I'm going to go to Ireland and do this and do that and play St. Andrews. Like we just said, like, hey, let's just do it in the spring. And we're going, it's a huge world. And we're taking the thought out of it. And we're like, hey, we're going to check out the Northern Lights in Iceland in February. I want to go. Like, and it's the price point is there. The trip is there. The activities are there. The comfort level is there with how we run the trip. So it's easy for people to be like, yo, sign me up. Like, I want to do it. And the best thing is when people don't do it, they're like, wow, I really missed out. I want to do the next one. And that's means we're doing it right. So I enjoy doing that. Have you looked into bunkerbranding.com to do your merch in 2019? That seems nice and a reasonable guy to handle your merch. I don't know. I just feel like we need somebody in-house. Do you cook? I always seem to be eating out on Instagram. I eat out a lot. But if I cook, it's pasta, cereal, like basic carb stuff. And I'm in an apartment now, so like I don't really have like a full-blown kitchen or pizza oven or anything fun or grill outside. So when I have the house and I've got the grill and the pizza oven and all of that stuff, I'll probably get more into cooking. I don't know what that is. Let's see. It's too bad you're busy talking. I appreciate that really, because reading these comments is a whole parallel brand of spectator enjoyment. Merry Christmas to you. Another first to get a ticket challenge. I need somebody to accept. The problem with the first to get a ticket challenge stuff is like most people don't want to do it. They just like they're scared of the repercussions. I've always wanted to know your thoughts about the Rob Spaghetti comments. I really don't care. I think I may even start up my own spaghetti brand and sell sling spaghetti. I think like little car-shaped pastas or something like that would be pretty fun, and my kids would like it. If nothing more, I'll have a huge warehouse full of it. Would I prefer a Super or a GTR? Probably both. Not an R35. I was thinking about getting an R34, the blue one, you know, the standard, like Paul Walker blue R34. And my Super, I think would be great to have both those in the garage. The adventure drives, do you drive your own cars or does it include the rental? So the trip to Iceland, because it's Iceland in the winter, it's because when the Northern Lights are playing or showing, it's not something where you would ship a car. My live video ended on Facebook. Interesting. Oh, I guess it stops at an hour. On Instagram, I mean. The Iceland trip, we're going to include not the pedestrian car, not the get around cars, but we're going to include the vehicles, like the off-road vehicles, the big tires. So we're driving on like volcanoes and stuff. And then these snowmobiles will all be included with the entry fee. And then you'll either ride with somebody else or you'll either ride with somebody else or rent your own like pedestrian car or Land Rover or Range Rover, something on snow tires to get around the island from point A to point B. If you want your own vehicle, you're more than welcome to do that. But then when we go to Europe, a lot of people are either going to ship their own cars. If you own your own car, you can ship it to Europe. If you don't, you need a letter of permission from your bank. It's a little bit more complicated of a process. Or you can rent a car over there. Renting cars is fairly reasonable over there. You can get some really nice, fun cars for a relatively cheap price. And then when we're back in Charleston to all of our U.S. drives, like 99% of the people don't rent. They just drive their own. Vagabond, I'm cheap, but here you go. Thanks for the $2. Whoop. Who else do they have there? Oh, he said that twice. That's $4. So you're not that cheap. It's $3.98. Thank you very much, sir. Any idea the monetary cost of every ticket you've ever gotten? Purely cost, not legal fees. Oh, I don't know, man. Sorry. I mean, figure 200 tickets at an average of $300 a ticket, 60 grand maybe. But that's over 15 years. Sucks about your home plans. Should be able to do whatever you want. Yep, I got it. Thank you very much. Vet shaped for radios. You know what I want to do? I want to do like pasta. Like, luckily I'm Italian and I know good pasta, so I want like good pasta sauce and everything like that. I'd like to make like little individual jars. So like for people like me, I hate opening up a jar of pasta and be like, oh, okay, it's gonna go bad in a couple of days if I don't eat pasta like 3 times this week. And the pasta jar, like a jar of pasta is like $8 or $9 for a good jar of pasta, which sucks. So like if I have a meal, blowing $9 in a jar of pasta, eating it once if I don't eat it again that week. So if we can make little individual sizes, even though it's more per volume, you can at least say like, all right, cool, it's $2.50 every time I make a plate of pasta because it's got enough sauce for 2 people and 2 people only. Monster Abdul Jalali or Jalil. Sorry, I suck at. I'm dyslexic. What do you recommend for a laser jammer and radar detector, irrelevant to price? The radar detector, I'd go with the Max 360. This seems to be the popular one. And then the Laser Jammer. Lidetech is the company I knew that we used, but I haven't used either of them in quite some time. Let's see what we got here. What's the worst car failure that's ever happened on adventure drives? We had a McLaren 570 crack a coolant tank on the way to, but the day before the trip started. We were able to fix that overnight at a local shop. Flat tire. And then two guys this past summer had no air conditioning. One was a Lamborghini and the other one was a Corvette, and that's the worst, that the air conditioning goes out. Especially where we were driving, desert, and everything was very hot. Let's see, I got another Fear the Game 2, $5. Thank you very much. What's your opinion on Salamandrian's Raptor S and claiming to be a car maker? I know of Salamandrian. I don't follow him. I don't know about his Raptor or Raptors, and I don't know what his statements are of being a car maker, but to my knowledge, he is not a car maker or a car builder. He may be akin to a tuning shop that drops a couple of parts on it, but I'm not familiar with what he's doing. I don't watch his channel, unfortunately. I don't really watch much. What's up with that glass? I have a point on the bottom. Yes, so the glass is a point on the bottom. And if you take... See? It could sit however you want. So that is what is up. It's cool. I would put a link in the description for it, but I'm too late for that probably now. When's the house going to be done? I've covered that part. Where's Tommy? When am I coming back to Tampa? I'll be back to Tampa in the next month. I've got the Donk down there, and I was mentioning it earlier in the stream. So I may have to come down, and I'd like to ideally drive the Donk back to New York. I may just plan to try to drive it to Atlanta, because worst case scenario, I can leave it in Atlanta and go pick it up. Let's see, but I will be down in Tampa. Maybe I'll even do a fan meet when I come pick up my Donk. Driving the ugly truckling through Colorado desert sucks without safe. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, driving anything through a desert without AC sucks. But I almost forgot that the AC was in and out on that thing. Wonder if I don't know if I got that fixed or not. The ugly truckling may need new heads on it though. That sucks. That's not cheap. But at least it's got all new injectors, and that was an expensive service. Thomas, hi Rob. Do you remember driving with my dad, Tad Ward? Of course, I like Tad. He drove on. His car broke prior to Bull Run, and he was in the backseat of the RS4 with me all week on Bull Run. We had a good time. I pinged him a couple of times to try to get him on to come out and have fun with us and come on some of the adventure drive trips, but I was busy, so I stopped bugging him about it. Thank you, Thomas, and tell your dad I said hello. I need to come to Texas. I was in Texas like 4 times this year. My vet's still down in Dallas. I got to come down and scoop that up. You should do another car giveaway with a t-shirt purchase as an entry. Yeah, I'm going to do that, Dylan. I'm going to be doing I'm going to give away my BMW M Roadster. It's just easier than trying to... Not trying to sell it. I'll probably go to CarMax. I'll probably get more than I paid for just going to CarMax with it. But at the end of the day, I'd rather give it away. I'd rather somebody get it. Thoughts on the LG Nurburgring lap record attempt being cut short? It wasn't really cut short. He was off pace. I don't think Lou was gonna do it in this trip. I think the car really needed a lot more experience there, it just he was so far off pace that even if he had an open track, I mean, I think his fastest was like 7:35, which is fast as hell. He's still 40 seconds off. Shaving 40 seconds is no easy is no easy feat. And the two cars that he passed on that lap, I mean, even if he had take 10 seconds off, he's still 35 seconds off with a clear track. So, I mean, he just needed somebody with more track experience in Corvettes or on that track to get behind the wheel. And it wasn't his car. He mentioned that. So I think he likes to win. So I see him going back. I see him putting a lot more laps, maybe building his own car and going out and lapping, leaving it at the ring for weeks on end. I think one of the things that kept biting him in the ass was the noise violations, because his car was too loud. So he would have had more practice in the car had it not been so loud. But I don't think it's over. I think he's going to go back at it. He likes to, and I think he's capable of doing it. He just needs more time. But becoming a ring expert, I mean, I think he underestimated the track to the extent where he did everything with the numbers. Like, if I take these pounds out, I'm going to save 4 seconds overall on the lap by just doing that. And it just, there's a little bit more to it. It's a big momentum track, and you really have to know and be confident when you're ripping around a corner what's on the other side or what's not on the other side. And that's just something that just comes with thousands of laps, and it just, he's got 60 laps and only 5 or 10 in that car. Did you get the police involved in the fleet card issue? I did. I went to the police on that because that's the only way I can get that company to sort of leave me alone. So I'll let the police deal with it, because really it is bullshit. On TV right now it looks like the finals of Miss Universe. It's between white dress and red dress, and you guys can tell me who wins in a second, because I don't really care. Rob, how crazy do you think I am for my new tattoo? Oh, you're a Ferrari tattoo. That's not really my thing, Chris. I've never been big on the Ferrari tattoos. Let's see here. Let's see. How you doing? Good. Miata. Let's see. No Band of Brothers. I like Band of Brothers, man. I could watch that every year. I made a YouTube channel 2 years ago, and you were one of the people that inspired me to do it. Now I have approximately 270,000. I'm glad you were able to do that. Cars Latino, congratulations on that. I love to hear that. Any plans to come to California? I go to California once or twice a year. But like, way to go, dude. That's really cool. I'm glad to hear that. Run what you brung. If you don't, go chrome it. Nice. I'm 38. Should be no dresses. Oh, I see what you're saying. Haha. Red dress one. I think that was a Filipino girl of the Philippines. RC codes. What did I saw you just mentioned that you want me to do the thing? What is your ultimate supercar? Like a Koenigsegg or something more traditional? I like the Zonda, but I also like the Koenigsegg, because I drove the Koenigsegg and it was nasty. It was awesome as shit. So I think Koenigsegg would be my ultimate supercar at the moment. Let's see. Are you going to sell the Supra? I'm going to sell the Supra in the spring. Like, no joke. I'm going to give it to somebody and let them do it. Are you live streaming in a craft room? No, but my kids, that's some of the stuff they made at school. I've got a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old from over the years. I don't know when. That's not like a recent wall or anything like that. It just goes up as my wife feels fit to stick it up. How many miles on my NSX? I think it's got like 98,000. Let's see here. What's the worst car you've ever had in terms of repair needing to be done constantly? Celine S7 sort of fell apart. And then I don't know. We had a couple. We had a BMW M5 was lemon lawed back in like not lemon lawed, but like BMW gave us like a $10,000 lemon check for it because it was down a lot for electrical issues. How much am I selling my Super for? I don't know. I think we're going big on the Super. I think we're going for like $150 or something wild. But I'm just gonna go buy another one after that one moves. Yes, LLR official. I am cool to come over to Darlington International Raceway if I'm interested, which I am. But going over there on my Donk, not really interesting because I'd kill myself going around a racetrack in that thing. But who knows? What's the next step for you in your automotive lifestyle? If you keep up, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in 2019. I mentioned earlier on, I'm going to be hiring a bunch of people and partnering with a bunch of people. Sorry, retarded. LRL, just shoot me an email, rob@superspeeders.com. We'll connect that way. Next car to add to the rental fleet, probably a couple of Lamborghinis for the spring. It's nothing right now for the winter. Next up in the automotive lifestyle, as I said, I'm going to be putting a bunch of people on a team, and we're going to be launching a bunch of stuff in 2019. So I've got a pretty packed schedule coming. Expanding the rental company again, just doing a bunch of stuff. And see, like the Hypertonic, hire me at $40 an hour. You're the guy I'm not going to hire because, as I said earlier, I'm not looking to just spend money on people. Like, I'm looking to give people an opportunity to make a lot of money, but they're going to have to prove their worth. Everything is sort of starting as an internship and turning into like you generate money, you're getting a good chunk of it. But I'm not going to start slinging ears. 20 an hour here, 40 an hour here, 30 an hour here. It just doesn't make any sense to do that because every time I've done that in the past, people do just enough to sort of like get by, but not enough to generate me money. So I've been making money myself, and instead of people being a value add, they're a value deterrent, and they're taking money out of my pocket, and I'm not looking to do that. Brandon said, "I'm looking to spend money on people." What are you looking to do, Brandon? Shoot me an email. I'll talk it through with you. Now, I've never had a $0 intern, but I want you to come in with the idea that if you earn it, you can make a lot of money. But if you don't earn it, you're getting what you're paid. You're getting pretty damn close to minimum wage, or $10 an hour, or $12 an hour, which is like, if you're making that, it's because you're doing something incredibly wrong, and you're not living up to a very basic expectation. Because the ability to make money here is pretty good. Let's see. How do you feel about production twin turbo V6 cars like the Infinity? I don't really know. I don't do that. Thoughts on Cars Latino? You must have a big channel because you're coming up as like a check mark, so your thing is sort of like featured. Thoughts on Salamandrin saying the cars Koenigsegg's aren't as good performance-wise as McLaren's, Lamborghini, Ferrari, or Porsche. I disagree. I think Koenigsegg's are probably the top of the crop, and I've driven all of them. So I think people say stuff like that, like people say that to just get attention, and it's not accurate, but it's like, oh, I can't believe he said Koenigsegg's are a piece of shit. Ben Chen did that when he bought a Koenigsegg. Like, cool, we'll give you all your money back. Just give us the car. And they sold it to somebody else, and then history has proven that was bullshit, and Koenigsegg makes great cars. Let's see. I'm heading out, but I'll shoot you an email on the Tuner Car Challenge side for 2019. Thank you very much. I will check that out. Any curious as to why you do these weekly chats or any purpose? Yeah, give me a reason to have a drink and bullshit with people, because this is the only time. Like, I can't keep up with my YouTube comments. When I post a video, I try for like the first 10 or 15 minutes, but that alienates most of the people that aren't even notified until the next day or later in the day or when they get around to it. So this format lets me just bullshit with people and at least gives people an opportunity to catch me and answer and allow me to answer questions for them. And some people here throw me some money, and that covers my drink. So I'm pretty much getting a free drink, which is nice. Any experiences with Doug DeMuro? Yeah, I've known Doug DeMuro before you knew who he was. But nice guy. He was going to be on my podcast a while ago, but then he moved to California. Any collaborations? Yeah, I mean, there'll be some big collaborations in the new year. I'm very hesitant. It sucks to, like, collaborating with YouTubers is tough because, especially with daily vloggers, like my Europe videos did absolute trash views, and everybody else got like good views on their channel. But you've already seen it. You've seen it from 4 different perspectives before I posted mine, and I just can't turn it around as quickly as they can. So I'm going to do collaboration still, but probably not something where we're all, I don't want to race to put footage up effectively, but yeah. Adventure drives in 2019. As I said, there's 3 of them planned. Iceland for the Northern Lights. Go check out adventuredrives.com. Iceland for the Northern Lights in the end of February. Nurburgring in Europe in July. And then the one in November from let's see. Hurricane Eva. Okay, so we're excuse me. We're going a little circular here. So that's a good indication. I'm going to wrap it up. I'll wrap it up in about 6 minutes. So we'll call it an hour and a half because I see a lot of the same questions coming in. Merry Christmas, Tsuno. Keep these live chats up. Actually, let me just grab a tissue for a second. That's real life. Can't edit that out. There's a $2 super chat there. The Hypotonic, or whatever your screen name is. Thoughts on the Ford Lightning? I've always liked them. They're a good burnout machine. Yeah, they're good. They're good cars because they're unique and people that know them like them. So it's got good street cred too, and they're moddable. So there's a lot of reasons to get a Lightning at the $15,000 price point. It's not a bad play. Let's see. Speaking of podcasts, yeah, I got to get the podcast schedule back up. When I have the warehouse done, I'll have a podcast studio in the warehouse and we'll do the weekly podcast, but that's sort of my availability. I want to have somebody who's like a regular on the podcast. It's tough for me and Glenn to just have not really any structure and do it week in and week out, especially when it's like he's got to travel over, we got to travel over, we're doing it at night. Planning my vacation time. When and where is the new Adventure Drives? Well, Alyssa DiMaria, we're going to that's Alyssa, she knows where we're going. Hopefully you'll join us in Iceland too. That was fun the last time we went. Can I employ you even though you live in Scotland? Probably not. How tall am I? I'm 5'9". Next project car challenge is in the works. I've got to get the tracks locked in. Paul Walker had a Lightning in Fast and the Furious. Bullshit. Nobody likes the tuna here. Let's see. When the new warehouse is ready, I'll do an open house. Do you own any expensive cars? No. Until he hits a curb with the Harry's. Yep. Most amount of money at one time somebody spent to rent a car? I don't know, probably like 80 grand or something. Do I like Street Speed? Yeah, Mike's not a bad guy. I don't have anything against him. I haven't hung out with him very much, but the times that I did, I don't have any issues with him. I have 70,000 Canadian to buy a car. What do I buy? I don't know the car prices up there, but if you can get like a 997 turbo in that price range, I think that's your play. Rob, opinions on cryptocurrencies. I've covered this last year. Cryptocurrencies are a complete waste. I would stay away from them. I don't think that's a. I don't think that's a play to do. Can you grease bearings with shave butter? I don't know. But Shave Club is a sponsor of mine. Maybe I'll try it out. I think a cup holder's on the new 992. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that. The Terminator Cobras, they're pretty good. They were always fast cars back in the day, but they're a little dated now. But they still have a little bit of street cred when you see them rolling around. I don't see them rolling around as much. What about tall car guy reviews? How do you feel about him being arrested during the traffic stop? Is that the black dude in the Charger or the Challenger that was arrested for street racing? If it is, it really depends. We don't have enough context as to what he was doing, as to whether he deserved to be arrested or not. The officer's demeanor during the stop, I mean, that's I don't really care about that. You're asking somebody to be a nice guy. It's just, I don't know. It's you need more to the story. There's more to the story that you're not seeing. You're seeing an edited video, and it's easy to edit a video in your favor, and especially with like a pending criminal matter ahead of him, he's got to be careful as to what he posts. So I will see if I ever see the full context of everything. I can make a comment on it, but until then, I mean, it just sucks. Guy got arrested, make a couple of YouTube videos about it, and then moves about his day. That's what I would do. That's something that you run the risk of when you're in the car world and you race around, especially in like Arizona or certain states that are shitty for speeding. Let's see. What am I sipping on? This is a Glenfiddich 21 bottle, which is empty. But I am just drinking regular iced tea out of a fancy glass. I have not done my Christmas tree shopping yet. Nope. My favorite Scotch is a Glenfiddich 15. The Top Gear promotion was 80,000. No, you asked individuals. One individual rented the car for 80,000 once. Let's see. Next car in the rental fleet. Blah 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 blah. I think we covered that. It sucks to suck. Yes, it does, my friend. Gotham Dream Cars is open, Syed. So if you want cars, you let me know. You give us a call, 8772-GOTHAM or 212-957-4400. Or you can come by. If you're in Englewood, you can come by, check out the cars, and you drive off with one same day. Do I miss the Cobra R? Yes and no. I mean, I miss all the cars that I've sold, but not really. What do I moisturize my hands with? Nothing. Water. Let's see. I don't know the outcome of the guy who did the Mercedes bang burnout in Times Square. Cool. Got like 30 seconds, so I'm going to start wrapping them up. Let me just finish my iced tea here. Thank you guys for joining. Do my cars have speed limiters on them? No, none of them do. Just the tachometer. When the bottle's gone, your eyes are red, act a fool. Let's see. Ford GT application video. I didn't end up doing that. I didn't renew that, so it is what it is. Bacon Grease, thank you for the $5. Considering a 2007 C55 AMG, repairs seem lower compared to other years, other cars. Mercedes are pretty reliable as is. I wouldn't stray away from a 07 C55. There's cheaper ways to repair them as well, so I'll give you the thumbs up on that car. It's not a bad purchase. So, all right, guys. I thank you very much. I don't really have much more that I want to cover. I want to sort of put an end to this so I can go get some work done, but I wanted to take some time to say what's up. And I thank you guys for joining me. I will see you. I'll see you next week. I'm not doing any traveling before the end of the year now, so I will be around to say what's up. So everybody have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy Holidays, Kwanzaa, you name your holiday. Whatever your Jesus is or your deity is that you're celebrating at this time of year. Enjoy it. Enjoy your family. Don't be a dickhead to other people. And I will see you soon. See ya. Thanks for joining.